So we're gonna talk a little NFL. I love the NFL. It's lunch hour, and most of the time that means not for long. And so as we get into our not for long segment, we go talk the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I got my blue on. We came out the bye week. I feel good. I feel great. That blue looks good on you. Okay, so yes, I'm a little bit under the weather, which doesn't really fare well for my voice. So excuse me as we push through. We got to do what we got to do. But okay, I had a few of my ex players who tune in to the pod, follow me on social. Um, we're gonna open up talking about the Colts. Partly because the Colts beat the Raiders, and Coach Saturday, who is fresh out of the media booth. Um, how do you feel about that? It's a few things that is to be. It's a few things that are true. The first thing that is true, them firing Coach Frank over there um, to promote anyone in house. To one of my guys' point, it seems a little pointless, especially um, if you're not even considering hiring one of them. And so, if there was going to be a situation of someone who's not looking to hold the job long term, but to really bridge them into um, a drafting quarterback, draft a premier or franchise quarterback. Uh, Saturday, I think. Here's what I think. I think if you've been in the game long enough, and you've played this game, and you have an understanding of people, you can become a football coach on that level because it's more about people, organization, and getting people to believe in who is driving this ship. Okay, like whatever decisions he's going to make, do they believe in his decisions? And in most cases, players respect players. And so I don't believe that was a wrong move. My point is that though, there are a ton of players, a ton of players, i.e. Deion Sanders. You know what I mean? Now I don't think that's Deion's calling. I don't think Coach Prime wants to be in the league right at this moment. Um, I think his track record, like when he came out of the booth, like a lot of people did not hire him. Jackson State had to hire him. And that's all love to the HBCU people who got on board. And now Coach Prime got some affinity to Jackson State, just like he did Florida State, just like he did the Falcons, just like he do several teams in the NFL and in college football. But Jackson State gave him the shot out of the booth. So I guess the question beggins, can you give a player out of the booth of color that same shot? I don't know the answer to that. Um, that was what was posed to me in my inbox, and that's what I will pose to the football community. I know Stephen A. touched on it. Um, yeah, but I'm not mad at the hire because players respect players. And I think the owner Ursay gave he opened the door for people or owners who might want to hire a former player of color who was a great leader in that franchise, but does not have the football coaching pedigree. And so, yeah, it's something to be said about that. Um, yeah, I would be salty if I was on the staff just for the sake of, like, you also got to respect what people do, man. This is like, football is a grind. Being a football coach is a grind. And the reason I feel away, or that I may have, if I was on the staff and may have felt salty about it, is because, look, it is very easy to make flash judgments on the mic and be thought provoke thought amongst the fan base, and to kind of poke the bear and have all the right answers after the fact. Now, granted, I don't think you can make this a habit and just grab any geek off the street and do that. He got street cred. He got a Super Bowl. And I would argue he probably asked Peyton first, straight like that. And so, yes, now let me get back on track. It's the work ethic of all of the other coaches that are on staff that makes it feel makes me feel a little dirty, a little nasty, because the grind of a football coach is hard work. I mean, these dudes see their players more than they see their families and their own children. Now you could say you're being compensated for that. That's fair. But I also will say, Coach Saturday is playing with house money. Like, he didn't build a career coaching. You know what I mean? He didn't come up the ranks. He didn't do a GA position. He didn't do a quality control position. And so, but again, to the argument, he did win a Super Bowl. He did play with Peyton Manning. He knows what leadership looks like, and he's a leader of men. But again, I'm being truthful and honest about, if I was on that staff, I would feel away because I done GA. I was quality control. I got skipped over for the all everything coach, which is all good. I put some things in my coaching tool belt from him, and then I got held over from the coach who got fired, or the coordinator who left and took half the staff, and Coach Frank asked me to stay when I had an opportunity to go. Like, all of that stuff, man, play a factor into being in the coaching profession. So, and then you find yourself in a situation where you working for Coach Saturday, who you once was watching on TV talk trash about your team, and now he's coaching your team. Like, that's a delicate balance, dog. That's a real delicate balance. And I also say, in that balance, it helped that they won. Now, the fact that they won, and I've been high on the Raiders, and I was also very vocal by saying I thought the Raiders would make a late run and go to the playoffs. But I think this New England situation up north, man, he did too. He was with Coach Belichick too long. That's, I guess, the point of the story. Next. All right, let's go. Green Bay Cowboys. I told my homie the Cowboys got a little Lions in them. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Them Cowboys. Let's talk about America's team. America's team. So much went wrong here. More than anything, this is the most important part about that game. The Cowboys lost to Green Bay. Green Bay needed to win more than the Cowboys, but it's imperative that the Cowboys don't make this a situation where they lose next week, all because they lost to the Green Bay Packers. And though I also think, why did they stop running the ball? I don't know. I think, I spoke on a pod about the backup, the power of the backup. And traditionally, the backup, if he got a great attitude, they stopped giving Pollard the ball because I think he was tired, fatigue kicked in. And so they trying to do a little short passes, drop back. Ultimately, that's what got him in trouble, you could argue. But let your defense play at the end, too. because that defense is legit, right? Now my man, Coach Blackwell, right? Look, he's like that defense, the All American defense didn't show up. I would argue that they still showed up. You're not holding the only teams you hold in the under 21 points are the Titans. And that's because they don't want it to go over 21. Right? The other I mean, because they are being deliberate about how they're in the Patriots. Those are the teams that you can hold to those low numbers because of how they're being deliberate in them running the ball, unless the quarterback's having a junk day. And so in that point, man, look, that's Mr. Rogers. I thought the defense did pretty well, all things considered. When you look at it, once you go into OT and they at Lambeau, I'm just saying all bets are off because now you got the home crowd cooking going. Like, it was really the offense that just clunked. Like in the fourth quarter, they went over. Dallas went over in the fourth quarter. They didn't put up a field goal. They didn't put up a safety. They didn't do anything in the fourth quarter. Green Bay put up 14 points. They went on a 14-0 run in the fourth quarter, which ultimately changed the game completely. And so to me, that fourth quarter is, look, let's talk fourth quarter. If you are in the game on both times, as a head coach, as a coordinator, I would say to my players, listen, it's all good in the first quarter. Everybody fresh, everyone geeked, everyone juiced. Like, if everyone is doing their job, we should slug a few blows, big play here, first down, turnover here. Like, if everyone is on their job, you should slug it away. It should be a nice little volley. I.e. the first quarter, 0-0. They slugged it away. Second quarter, 14-14, right? Okay, now here it is. Here's where the swap out happened. When Dallas had the momentum, the big Mo, it was 14-0 going into they have 14 unanswered points in the third quarter. And why? Because they were trying to be trigger happy with Rodgers. I still don't understand why they don't give Dylan the ball more. Another story. But in the fourth quarter, where all they had to do was a field goal ends this game, and the pigs. Like, at some point, like, I'm saying, a field goal, you're in control, you have the momentum. And so every time you drop back to throw the ball in the NFL, excuse me, especially in the red zone, those windows are super small. It's like a mini coupe. It's like Shaq getting in a mini coupe when you start thinking you can throw the ball all in the middle of the field nonetheless. They didn't throw a fade. He was trying to throw a skinny. They was in quarters. I know most of y'all are like, who cares? What is quarters, coach? And what's a skinny? Okay, I digress. The point of the story is this. Dak threw the ball 46 times, and they were up in the third quarter. Do you know how many times he threw the ball in the fourth quarter? I couldn't find the stat, and I didn't want to go by the play-by-play. So that's a question. Somebody figure that out for me. But in my estimate, he threw the ball almost 20 times in the fourth quarter. In my estimate. Because when they got those points, it was when they was running the ball. Like, and so, I don't know. Look. Tony Pollard had 115 yards and a touchdown. He was averaging 5.2 yards a carry. I don't know how you don't keep giving him the rock. I don't. I also don't know how this is what I've been talking about that backup situation. Whoever is on the practice squad as a running back, or if you're that third string running back. I don't know your situation, bro. I really don't know your situation. I couldn't even find you on the depth chart. But here's what I'm gonna speak to if you're in a backup situation anywhere. You are not playing and you got two bona fide pro bowlers in front of you, soak up some game. And when you know you're on a practice squad as that running back, and you know Zeke has been going down, soak up some game. This game I'm attributing to no backup running back. That's what I'm saying. You heard me say it. And I don't know who he is. I don't even think he's on the roster officially because I think they kept, I don't know. But here's what I'm saying. Your attitude is the reason why you weren't playing, bro. This man needed some more. This man needed a break. Pollard needed a break, and he couldn't get a break because for some reason they don't like the practice squad running back. Now, why am I talking about the practice squad running back? Because I've coached a lot of college players in my day, and they made their careers on the practice squad by getting an opportunity, soaking up game, and they got in the game and it broke up. They broke it out. And so I played with dudes who made a living. They are getting the NFL retirement. The old NFL retirement, you had to play for 7 years because they understood how to be a backup. And so if Tony Pollard had a backup, I'm saying that they loved, that they wanted to get an opportunity, give an opportunity to, we would have saw a young, talented running back last night, 2 nights ago, because they would have given him the ball. Period. If he and I'm gonna go on a limb and say he's talented, but there's an attitude issue over there, and that's the reason why you ain't get that rock last night, bruh. I don't even know you personally, so I can't even speak to you personally, and I wouldn't even go off on you like that. But I'm just saying, man, like you got whoever is in that backup role on that player squad role, giving their defense scout team looks. You on deck, bro. They gotta play you, bro. And Zeke go get back. They go force Zeke back onto this field. But whoever you are, they gotta play you, bro. If you don't clean up your attitude, they ain't gonna play you though. They just not. You there because they think you got something. You talented enough. Dallas is not keeping no bums. Just you gotta have some talent. But if you got an attitude issue, that will get them beat. Because you know what else got them beat? Now, because I also want to address this, and I'm not gonna even call him out by name, but I think he was a rookie. And so some of this, when you talk about discipline, when the receiver lined up off sides, I'm watching it on TV. And if you ever watch the receivers from the wide on TV, they just about always look like they're off sides because they are hugging the heck out of the ball, right? But in this particular instance, they were in a hurry up situation. He used the ref to get himself spotted. That's why when the ball snapped, he was still looking at the ref. He never really looked at the ball to see if the ref was in alignment with the ball. He got a line based on the ref. Now, the ref was supposed to let him know, back up. That's the ref's job too now. So now, technically, he was not wrong. Fundamentally, the ref was wrong. But in the pressures of the game, my man, whoever you are at the player squad or you on the practice squad running back, I'm telling you, you on deck. So tighten up. They go do everything to rehab Zeke and get him back on the field. But they cannot go into this next game saying that Tony Pollard's going to carry the ball 22, 32 times again. Because to be honest, I think 22 was his max. That's how I feel. All right. That's the Dallas Cowboys. That's America's team. All right. And now I do want to talk. I only talk about the teams I want to talk about because that's the teams I want to talk about. All right. I'm wearing my Lions, so I don't have to talk about my Lions. You feel me? No, you don't? All right. So we're going to talk about my Lions because the only reason the Lions won based on the grit that we talked about. We're a young team. I think we do have some good talent, but we're young. And I think that youth is going to play a major, major part if we can develop it with the one coach that we have, Coach Campbell. Keep developing them, keep coaching them, keep pouring into them, keep loving on them, right? This team will be a playoff team in a year if they can just keep the nucleus together, keep the coaching staff together. I think people underestimate the power of continuity. It's just a fact. Okay. You and your own job, if you switch if they switch your boss every 6 months, you probably looking for another job. So consider if the Lions can keep their coaching staff together and keep that core nucleus, don't mess with Coach Campbell this year. I told you, you need to give NFL coaches 4 years, right? Especially considering everyone wants the rookie quarterback to be a prodigy out the gate. Like, so basically, I'll get to if you draft a quarterback, you're gonna get fired before you can see him even get to where you're training him to be. That's a problem. Okay. But be that as it may, I can't control that problem. So if the Lions, they don't have a young quarterback. They have a young quarterback, they don't have the draftee quarterback. So that's not their problem. I don't understand if Swift is going to be available, not going to be available. I don't know. That needs to get hashed out. But for the most part, Jamal Williams has been holding the line as best he can. Here's the kicker. The Bears should have beat the Lions, but the Bears stopped running the ball. That's it. That's the answer. As soon as they try to throw the ball, and here's the kicker. They didn't throw it a lot either. They kept it under. They kept it under. They kept it under 20. So I'm not mad at the play call. I'm not mad at none of that. It was the pass that lost them the game, though. Consider the Bears put up 30 points. 30 points, and they only threw the ball 20 times. That's how magical this dude Fields is. And I'm telling you, like, and the defense they got is not bad either. Like, I just don't think it's sexy to win with your defense. And look, every Super Bowl, I got a homie that says every Super Bowl team that has won the Super Bowl at any point in their history, that's their identity. Period. You can't change it. He believes it's staple, right? And so St. Louis if they stick to their high flying, throwing the ball identity, they will always be in the shot for a Super Bowl, right? They need to find a running back that can add into that high flying passing attack because that's how they won their Super Bowls. In Chicago, the only Super Bowl they have in my lifetime is the 85 Bears. And it's because that defense was knock your socks off, ridiculously fast, aggressive, physical, everything. Different game, but that defense is what got them their Super Bowl. The Ravens, that defense, their very first one, what he likes to call, my man Earn Champ, check him out, right? I think he got a show on Instagram, the Champ Sports Talk Show. He talks about, and I'm just, playing off of this a little bit, like, once you try to leave your history and your identity, you will never be successful. And especially if that identity got you to a Super Bowl. If it has never gotten you any success, that means your fan base is waiting for an identity, i.e., the Detroit Lions. Like, based on my history with Barry Sanders, I want us to have a dope running back. But we didn't win with Barry standards. So that identity is still lost in the sauce and ready to be claimed. And what I'm saying, if we can win games 30-31, 20-24, like that could be grit identity. Grit is on the walls in the Lions building, by the way. I think it's an acronym for them. And it's the grittiest city. I look, I'm just telling you. Okay. And so the Chicago Bears have something magical in a quarterback. They need to max that with a like legitimate ground game. And I think they did that this past week. They ran the ball with Montgomery 9 times, Herbert 10 times, and St. Brown 2 times, which I think like with the they can use they could get at two, they could have gave him the ball 2 more times. Like, but my point is they have to be 60-40 run pass. And look, Fields having the league carries at 13 carries at 147 yards. Did you see the explosion in those plays? Like, some of that ain't designed, because in fact, some of that is just who he is. That's called a DNA play. And so I think the Bears just lean into who he is, which I think they did. The pick that he threw, he just has to be smart, get rid of the ball, and trust his defense. In fact, the best teams that I've been on, that I've coached on, the quarterback had a relationship with just about everyone on the defense. That's a fact. In fact, I'm willing to bet, especially if it was defensive-led teams, the quarterback knew what it was. He's like, yo, I ain't getting in y'all way. I'm gonna make the play I need to make, and I'm gonna let y'all do what y'all do. That's a formula. How many quarterbacks that you know are okay with that? Everyone that's been okay with that, the Ravens have found them. They found every quarterback that's okay with that. And I think they got one right now. Lamar Action Jackson, he if he know he get that defense not there yet, that defense is not there yet. They got to keep retooling that defense. But I'm telling you, like the quarterback, the culture, the history, it dictates the identity. In our fan base, and I have look, I can't even be for. Let me be honest with you. I haven't lived in Detroit since I graduated high school, but my family is still there. All my family, I still go out. You see me. You see my Rodman jersey. Like you see my Eastern Michigan jersey. Like I'm telling you, the identity of the Lions is grit right now. You can win a Super Bowl with grit. Now you need some experience to go along with that grit. We need a we need a little more dynamic play out of the running backs with that grit. But again, the identity of the Lions can be a lot like the Super Bowl winning Giants. That's what I'm saying. The defense is dope, and the offense is sporadically explosive. I like that. I like the sound of that. Sporadically explosive. Oh, look at that. Can you do it again? Sporadically. Yeah, I can. Okay. All right. Anyway, so it takes me to the point. G-Man. I lived on the East Coast too long to not talk about the G-Man or the Giants, as you will, or the Jets. Okay, I'm a big fan of the Jets because I have had a lot of players that's played for the Jets. I've had a lot of coaching buddies that's coached on the Jets. Um, Same to be true for the Giants, but the Giants always gave me the bourgeoisie vibe, like. Yes, Johnny. Like that's kind of how I've always felt about the Giants. I'm not speaking to their fan base, not for real. But the Jets always made me feel like they had grit to them. Not like it wasn't. The Jets made me feel like they were the brick city. It was like North Jersey City, the Bronx, Brooklyn. Like the Giants made me feel like they were, upper like all Manhattan, you know, um, the central northeast central part of New Jersey, where I'm just saying that was my impression. Like even Westchester, um, White Plains, all of that, Westchester County, whatever. That kind of I don't know if it's divided. If I don't know if is New York Giants fans are divided up based on and Jets fans are divided based on geographical boroughs and locations. I'm just telling you, from a Midwestern, a kid from Detroit, that's how I observe the Giant fan base versus the Jets fan base. Now, as we talk Giants, Giants beat the Texans because they supposed to beat the Texans, right? Like, period. But here's what I love about the Giants, man. Like the Giants are being true to who they are. Now it does help. Does help because they got a dude that's toting that thing, running that air out of that thing. And here it is. Go back to it. And hey, my man I may be onto something. The Giants' original Super Bowls of the 21st century, let's say, have been hard-nosed defense, run the ball. Hard-nosed defense, run the ball, quarterback that can make the play when they need to make the play. My favorite Super Bowl was the Hostler Super Bowl of the Giants. My man Dave Meggett was back there, right? He was the back. Dave Meggett was a backup tailback. Went so going back to the Dallas Cowboys. Whoever that backup tailback for Pollard, you got to get right, man, because Zeke ain't gonna be nowhere near it. All right, let me get back to the Giants. And so here you go, the Giants. I don't know what you think of Daniel Jones. I don't care. The Giants passed 24 points, and they passed the ball 17 times, and he completed 13 passes, and he had 2 touchdowns for 197 yards. That's not going to look too much different next week. Outside of it, may be 26 times, completed 17 times. Like, he is who he is. Like, they're not trying to ask him to be anything he's not, but guess who they leaning on? Hey, SB, like, come on, man. We got a problem over here. Oh, we do? Give me that rock. He's like Pac-Man, dog. That dude legit. I saw him at Penn State, too. 35 carries for 152 yards. Now, he got tree trunk for legs, and that's who I wanted. The Lions. It always goes back to the Lions. I wanted the Lions to draft Saquon. Another story, another episode. But my point is, the Giants are being true to whom they are and whom their history is. They've won Super Bowls with efficient quarterbacks. Like you're not moving the ball type defenses when they need it, and they always can get after the quarterback. You may be able to throw the ball, but you always go finish last on the quarterback with the laugh, right? And then lastly, that running back game is always superb. Every year that they won it, every year. And so it's something to be said about sticking to the historical script of your team. I'm just saying, yeah, Trent Dilfer the same. Yes, like for real. I'm telling you, it's always been there. I'm gonna tell you what messed up he calls it the Trent Dilfer effect. I'm gonna tell you what messed up the Trent Dilfer effect. College football. Because we stopped training the quarterbacks to take the ball from under the center. We were giving quarterbacks the cheat game. I'm not gonna lie to you. We were giving quarterbacks in college the cheat code that you unfortunately you just don't have in the NFL. I don't know if you can do it and cannot do it. I would imagine you can't, or they would have already done it. But the cheat code. So what's the cheat code? All right, here's the cheat code. We gonna play Madden with the quarterback to a degree. Hot. All right, we go freeze everything. All right, okay, it's too high. They got corners off. Hey, throw the hitch. And so then it said, go, throw the hitch. That's how that happened. Like, I'm just saying to you, like, at the end of the day, that's how we cheated the NFL quarterback. We hacked them in college. We hacked the system. We wristband everything, and we took everything out of gun. And so by the time you get to the NFL, like the NFL is really working with what he got. Like, and what he has is a quarterback for the most part who don't know how to take the ball, who don't know how to take a snap from under center, right? Who really doesn't know 5-step, 7-step, play action, drops. Like the whole footwork is completely turned. Which is why when you take a quarterback out of college who doesn't have any of those NFL foundations that y'all dealing with out there, like he learning on the fly. He learning on super fly. Like that's why. Look, okay, look at. I'll even do you just as we talk. Rodgers. Rodgers has not gone back to the Super Bowl. Why? They stopped running the ball. I'm not telling you that he didn't have to throw the ball and make some really great passes. I'm also not telling you that when Brett Favre won the Super Bowl, that he didn't have to throw the ball and make some really good passes. But they ran the ball and relied on their defense. I'm just saying. So, like, when you look at it from a standpoint that I'm looking at it at, it's like, if you won a Super Bowl, if you have a Super Bowl in your cabinet, dig into those films. Digging it up this offseason, you can't do it now. But I'm just saying, digging into those films. So the Giants are doing their thing because the Giants are staying where they stand in their sweet spot. Coach Dalbo got them boys going. Like, come on, man. Like, and then it ain't hard. Like, he's social emotionally loving these dudes. Like, when they win and he put on the Tory B.I.G. Juicy, that's all you need to know. Like, put my song on. This for all the people who was hating when I was trying to feed my mother and daughter. Just trying to make a little money for the struggle. You feel me? Like, that's that man's life. Look, I know hip-hop getting beat up a little bit. Hip-hop is always going to be under attack to some degree because of how we use hip-hop and how hip-hop is put out there. But here's what I want to say. Hip-hop spoke to people of color, no doubt. But over my travels in the East Coast, man, hip-hop was speaking to a generation of people that I knew nothing about. Like you talk about an immigration struggle. I don't know anything about that because my immigration was whatever 400 years ago, right? But my point, hip hop has a tone and an energy of struggle that comes off on it, and it's not always the full lyric that catches people. Like, you don't know his people, you don't know where his people came from. He made it. What you might not know is him making to the NFL had broke a generational curse on his entire family, a financial generational curse on his whole family. And so when he say put in Juicy, and if you don't know, now you know, like I'm here because I wasn't supposed to be here. I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. Like, you don't know his father or his mother, what they had to go through to get him through college, to get him on the football field. Come on, man. I don't know. I get a little emotional when I think about it sometimes because it's like, for real. People often strike down hip-hop because hip-hop has been based on, wow effect, which is somewhat the social media effect. How can I wow you? And if I can wow you on a punchline, it'll make you remember me. But what I've learned over time is that the value of music, it speaks to energy and vibration. And the hip-hop energy and vibration, it speaks to a struggle that I think is not just exclusive to people of color, but it's exclusive to people of struggle, and we all have our struggles. That's a fact, Jack. All right, that's it. All right, moving on. I know I'm preaching. That's okay, though. All right. We got to talk Monday night, and this is the last game that we'll talk about. Is it? I got to look at my list. Nope, we got to talk Vikings. All right. All right, so we're going to talk Monday night first. Look, don't trip. Jalen Hurts is still a dog. He's still a beast. He still knows what's going on. And to be honest with you, I think the best thing that could have happened for them, is them losing. Yeah, man, because everybody don't want to give Jalen Hurts and the Eagles no cred, man. I can't stand that, fam. Like wins are wins. And just like y'all already on their head about losing to the 5-5 Commandos and the Contras and Cobras, I'm just thinking of Wild Sea teams. They gonna keep this going. Like, anybody can get it, son. Anybody can get it. Stop playing like your team can't get it. Look, just because they 8-0 and you don't like who they beat, don't mean they can't win a Super Bowl. And it don't mean that their record shouldn't be respected. But you know what's gonna happen? Go on and keep sleeping on the Philadelphia Eagles. And interesting enough, that city ain't even mad at none of y'all, because that city mad at the team more than they mad at any of the critics. That is the hardest city I've been in. They mad when they win, dog. They mad when they win. So, big picture, it was best they dropped this L to the Commandos, Commanders, and the Contras, because at this point, I believe like they go tighten up all their loose ends. They play great defense, and believe it or not, the reason why I'm talking about the Eagles is not because they lost, not because of Jalen Hurts. I want to talk about how it ended, because when the D-line is hunting, it's 3rd and 12, 3rd and 7. The game is on the line. They got to throw the ball. If they don't throw the ball, they got to punt, and now my man Hurts go out and get this work. When you see red like that and you know this is the one snap, this is my last snap, one snap, you getting undone, woo, woo, woo. You don't see the quarterback in all of his movement. You see flashes of his movement. And so when you get undone and you see this dude falling, you start salivating like, oh, wait a minute. Did he fall? Is he going to try to get up? And so now it's like emergency +2. And so as they like in a rush to get to him to make sure he don't do nothing crazy, game over. 10-second runoff, whatever, first down, and then at that point is a knee, and then it's done. Ooh, that hurt. That hurt. That hurt. And because of that, the Eagles have their first loss. That's what it is. But it's best they get that out the way, so now they can go focus and play. And to add into, that's not going to stop what they need to do next week. Because when you look at the Eagles schedule and you look at their team, it's solid. They're not missing nobody. They got everything they need, partner. Okay, I used to have a coach. He'd be like, yo, are you riding shotgun? I'd be like, what do you mean? Are you riding shotgun? You mean front seat? I'm like, no. He say, are you riding shotgun? I'm like, coach, I don't even know what shotgun mean if it ain't front seat. He said, yeah, it's front seat, but that means you got to shoot anything that move when we start riding. What? I'm like, man, stop playing. Is that what that means? Sure enough. Old school, man. He old school from Alabama, right? And so ever since then, I started seeing shotgun so different when in season. I have never used that. If I ever get back on the coaching field, I might use that. But when you say you riding shotgun, that means you shooting anything that move towards this cart, towards this wagon. And yes, I watch Yellowstone. If you don't, you might as well get with it because it's about family, land, and protecting it. That's called football. Mm, mm, all right. Okay. What was I talking about? The Eagles. They go pop the coach. All right, my man, Coach Bundles, my man Curtis Blow. What up, What up, C? Big Curtis Blow in the house. So he's like, yo, let's talk about Coach Saturday. We talked about him, but because the Eagles are in his way and they going down to Coach Saturday and they're going to start playing Matt Ryan, I'm going to tell you, the only, look, here's my point, Curtis Blow, about the Coach Saturday thing, man. Coach Saturday, game respect game, bro. Game respect game. They have 4-5. They can make a playoff run, but are they gonna make a playoff run with anyone that's on that staff right now at the leadership helm? And from what I understand, is a very young staff, and so like it's house money. So I look at it like, okay, look, this is what we gonna do. I'm telling you, Peyton got the call first. Let's start there. Peyton, this is how this all works for anyone. So Peyton gets the call. Yo, Peyton. Irsay calls Peyton. Look, I love Frank, but our quarterback situation is messed up. We on our third string quarterback and on our third trade quarterback, and we just Matt Ryan just sitting in the cabinet. Like, what do you want to do? I need you to come over here, coach your team, close out the season for me, go back on the golf course when you're done. So Peyton, like, you know what? Nah, you know who you should call? You know who you should call? You should call Jeff. That's who you should call. You should call Jeff. And Jeff might be right up that alley. But I need the quarterback situation fixed, Peyton. Nah, you need the energy fixed. That's it. You need the energy fixed. You don't need the quarterback situation fixed. Peyton told him, you need the energy fixed. Hire Saturday. Saturday, look, let me also explain to you who Coach Saturday is. He a center. All right. Most of you don't know. Most of you, if you've never been in the game at a high level or in the locker room, let me tell you the power of the center. The center can talk to any and everybody. The center can talk to the D-line. The center can talk to because the center got to see everybody, just like the quarterback. The center is probably the second most important person on the offense, period. Because the center has to communicate with the 5 offensive linemen. He got to communicate with the dang on running back. He got to communicate with the quarterback. Now, he don't have to communicate with the skill. He don't have to communicate with them. But he got to see the safeties, linebackers, D-line. And so, like, in his playing career, he's probably been well-traveled in the conversations of player respecting player and understanding what players need to do to get players to go. And so I'm telling you that domino effect was Peyton, I need you to help me close out the season. Peyton's like, nah, call Saturday. He'll probably do it. You really think so? Like, but I need to fix the quarterback. Nah, you need to fix the energy, Chief. So he's like, all right. So he calls Jeff. Jeff, hey, what you thinking? If I offered you the job just to close out the season, what would you do? And this is what you're watching. So here's what I'm going to say. They're at Indianapolis when the Eagles go to Indianapolis. The Eagles should beat the Colts, period. But you will see a competitive Colts team because they are in the hunt. And if by some chance that the Colts pull it off because of something stupid happening at the end of the game, which we're going to get to that. Something stupid happening at the end of the game, and they end up beating the Eagles. You're talking about a playoff coach. All right. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves, though, that Chief. We're not going to do that. We going to go all the way back. We're going to go all the way back and talk about this Vikings Bills game. That's NFL prime time at its best. Right there. The fact that, look, there's a lot of things you can say about that game. In fact, I don't got enough time. I got to get to Coach Daycare. Coach Daddy Daycare. Okay. All right. Man, the Bills, Vikings. Oh, my goodness. So someone said to me, I heard, shout out to MANNIX and MANNIX. I'm on the MANNIX Brothers at thebigjab.com every Mondays at 1. He made a statement earlier yesterday or today about Kirk Cousins didn't win a game. Buffalo lost the game. And normally I would really contend stuff like that. Like, you can't say someone didn't win the game, someone lost the game. Like, no, bro, that's not how this works. Like, if you lost the game, I won the game. It's not I won the game because he lost the game. Like, whether he played well or not, do I get my credit for winning the game? Or does Buffalo get the credit for losing the game and now my credit is nothing? Like, is that kind of how that works? No. But in this case, this is just so this is why, if you guys follow me, my man Horace, what up? Like, hard to win. I hashtag it on everything. It's so hard to win. The higher up you go, the more business you do, the more margin of error you have lack of room for. You're like, I ain't got no room for this mistake, cuz, like, this is my last contract with these people, and if I can double it down, like, this need to be right. Margin of error, hard to win. And the better you are, the more wins you accumulate, you become raw to the touch emotionally, right? And now I got an acronym for that: RAW, risk all winnings. Because at some point, if you hold on to it, it's gonna stay stale and it's gonna rotten, and then you don't have nothing. So you got to end up risking the next deal, got to ante up, got to double up, got to get the next contract, got to get the next job, got to get the next play, got to throw the next touchdown, got to run the next ball, right? Got to play the next series. This dude Cousins threw the ball 50 times and completed 30 of the passes. So first off, hats off to my man Cousins. He's a Michigan State guy. Flat out, okay? That's another Michiganian represent that. All right? Now, here's the thing. Dalvin Cook. This Minnesota team is a sneaky good. That's, I guess, the point of the conversation now. Because they beat Buffalo. Buffalo lost, yeah, but they beat Buffalo. Like, this was like that fumble on the one, like, and them being able to recover. First off, how about this? How about the Buffalo defense stops? I don't know how that happened, but they stopped the Vikings, turn it around, and now the Vikings scored on a fumbled snap. That's how that. Now listen, I'm saying game over right there. Because the Vikings had no shot to be in the game after that. The game's over. But it's hard to win. Remember I said that. It's hard to win. Margin of error. The longer the game goes, fatigue shows up. coaches get a little tight in their play calling. Something like a QB sneak on the one with big 2-man Allen shouldn't be a problem until it is a problem. And then when it's a problem, everyone's questioning what we're doing. Yeah, that happened. I'm telling you, that's the NFL. And it's hard to win. And when you talk about good teams, playing good teams, your margin of error, 33-30. So everyone's down on my man Allen. I'm not. Allen did his thing. Yeah, he threw a pick at the end. Yeah, I get it. He threw 2 of them. Yeah, it was very reminiscent and nostalgic of 2 years ago and him just looking all like discombobulated and a wild child on the field in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I get it. But honestly, that's who that man is. This is not about anything other than the Vikings did what it was needed to be done to win the game, and they still don't respect that man. They still don't respect that man's name. Put some respect on the Vikings' name. Now, I wasn't a Vikings fan or supporter. I thought they just was sneaky winning. I thought they should have lost to the Lions. I think the Lions should beat them on the second time around. But man, this dude Josh 2-Man Allen is legit. Don't fret. They will be the team to get with it or to try to beat. I will also say to you, and my son hit me with this, and it was so cold. Oh, it was so cold. He said, "Look, Pop, the Bills will go to the Super Bowl, but they'll lose." Oh, I was like, yo, what? He said, yeah, they're a good team. And because they're so, the way he tried to explain it was like Red Bull or like 5-hour energy drink. Like they have an unbelievable spike ability. But like, he was like, but if you have a team that's just built to absorb some of that, yeah, I think that's why they'll lose. And interesting enough, no, I don't think the Vikings are that team. But what the Vikings showed you, if they could absorb some of like the Buffalo Mafia magic and the Mafia aggression, if you will, like you can beat Buffalo. You really can. And because it's always going to come down to a fourth quarter situation with Buffalo, whoever they play, they're not ever going to blow anyone out because of that 5-hour energy. Like if you catch them on the dollar of that, you can stump them out. And so I have to agree with my son. He hit it on the nose. And that's what it is. Dolphins beat the Doodoo Browns. That was expected. I would be interested to see how Watson looks as they sprinkle him in this week. Steelers beat the Saints, which was a surprise. I expected the Titans to beat the Broncos, though the Broncos are – this defense is something – they're the number one defense in the NFL, and they're losing. I think that's a matter of offensive chemistry right now, and not deferring to the defense, although I think they're trying to get into that rotation. It's not over. They can definitely run it, run the table. I'm a believer if you got a good defense, you got a good shot. But, I mean, they still just throwing the ball all over the lot with Wilson. 42 passes. Why? They got the number one defense. I'm sorry. I got some coaches on that staff. My bad, guys. I don't even want to. My bad. I feel for you, dog. I love you, bro. Keep coaching them up. PS2, the number one corner in the game right now. I don't know what else to say other than stop throwing the ball and just let your defense play. That's all I got. You got Latavius Murray. Like, Latavius Murray can tote it, but I don't know. Look, this is Coach Hall. This was the NFL edition. My man Hiles, what up? Curtis Blow, what up? My man Coach Blackwell, thanks for checking in. Share it, like it. You are officially caught up. Let's go. Peace.